So I'm in the middle of quite a few unpleasant feelings right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been using it as a prod to have holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite clear when I have a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes back into the same old shit.
Mm.
And I'm kind of wondering, like, what happens? There must be some kind of a shift that occurs, or there's no point to it. I mean, I can see the truth, and but there's still this kind of tidal wave of emotional
Yeah.
crap going on.
Because I don't believe that there's a doer here, uh, or that we create anything, then I don't see it as there's someone here to get rid of what's appearing. So if whatever is appearing now, and I would say whatever is appearing now is uncreated by you. So you didn't choose it. It is as it is. And because there's only now, whatever is now cannot be any different than it is now. It's not possible. The idea then comes in, well, I don't like this, so let me change it and make it something better. But the truth remains that now it's unpleasant. That's the truth. So what I, share is just seeing what's true. It's not changing something. So, and when you have a holiday, it's clear that my essential being here and now is not limited to this painful or whatever emotional feeling right now. That's there. That's here, I should say, not there. That's here. I didn't create it. I didn't choose it. And it can only be as it is now. But I am not limited to this feeling, because in a holiday, I see that feeling is only one aspect of all of the manifold experiences that are happening here and now. All the visual experiences, all the auditory, and etc. It's just one of the millions of things going on right now. It's not the only thing. When I believe it's the most important thing and focus goes to that, then suffering is greatly enlarged. Because then that's the only thing that's happening in that moment. That's why when we first start working together, I show how the feeling of exclusive focus, how that's constricted and claustrophobic, compared to the knowing of unfocused attention that is all-inclusive. Because whenever, for all of us, whenever something emotionally painful is appearing, that grabs the attention, and our habit is to be attending to that exclusively. And then all there is that pain. There's nothing other than that pain. But in a holiday, that pain becomes part of the whole environment, part of the whole milieu that's happening, not just the only thing that's happening. And then I'm sure you see, even though that pain is there, there is some relief, at least, from the total focus of attention. So that's the first aspect, to see right in the moment that that is not the only thing going on, because also everything else is happening now that's happening now, and you are all of that. Your knowing encompasses all of it, not just that one thing. So that's the first aspect that can bring a little bit of relief in the moment now. The other thing, of course, is that the more we go focus on that or attend to that one thing, the more obviously we believe that one thing. And the more we believe that one thing, the more power that one thing has to stick around. It's like this person is really loving me, so I'm going to hang out here. You see, because you're giving it the power of attention, and the power of attention is like food to that. You can see it; it's clear, because more thoughts come, more thoughts come, more thoughts come, and that makes the feeling worse. And then getting into the feeling worse brings more thoughts, and those two feed each other. But a holiday is jumping off of that. And then the more one stays jumped off of that, the more it becomes in the background, not the foreground. And the more it's in the background and not fed with energy of thought, then it passes on its own more quickly, naturally, just like a river flowing by. When you, not that you do it, but when attention is focused on something, and when thoughts are endless, it's like putting a dam in the middle of the river. You're resistance, and that dam holds the river in place, in a way, metaphor. Right? That's the way I see it, and that's the way I see that it works. But the thing is, as we all live in the world of relationships and the world of building inspectors, like when you're trying to do a renovation of your house, and you have building inspectors who are pain in the neck. We all live in this world, and then circumstances are sometimes annoying or unpleasant or worse, tragic even. And then this body-mind organism that's what it is. It's the experiencing mechanism. It experiences things. It is what is experienced. Without this body, there's no experience, as far as I know. So if something unpleasant is happening in a circumstance, this body's response is unpleasant. And then we think, I have to get rid of that, because of course I don't like it, But the thing is, I didn't have anything to do with creating it. And it's completely natural for the body to respond that way. So then what is there for me to do about it? Nothing directly, I say, as far as the experience itself. The only thing that one can do, and if you want to use the word to do, is to be on holiday and recognize what's true, and see that that one experience is only part of the whole landscape. And then it becomes less of the focus and less distracting, and it allows to flow by without any dam holding it. So really, to sum it up, this, in my view, freedom is not arriving at some final state of always feeling pleasant and never being distracted or bothered by something. That would be nice. I don't know. Does it happen? Maybe. But as long as we live in the world of relationships, it's normal. It's natural. But whether it's possible to get to that state, or that nothing is ever unpleasant again or not, whether it's possible or not, what good does that do you now, thinking that? Because now there's something unpleasant happening, right?
Right.
So thinking, well, I'm not there yet. And not that you're saying this, Eric, but I'm broadening the conversation just a bit, because I know you're not quite saying this, but for the seeker to say, well, now one day I'll get to the place where none of this bothers me again. But that's ridiculous. What place? What future? When? There's only this. This is the only thing that's true, is this now. So the only thing to do is to recognize that it's just part of the whole environment. And don't expect it to not feel good, because it won't feel good. And expecting it to not feel good, or hoping it's not going to feel good, also, I think, gives it energy. It's more resistance, isn't it? It's just more resistance. There's something wrong with me. I'm not, whatever. Not you're saying. I know you're not saying this, but I'm not enlightened yet because I still have this painful experience. That's just more dam holding that place thing. It gives power, doesn't it? I'm human. I have experiences and feelings, and they come and they go. Okay, so it is. What to do?
I've heard this idea of just, letting feelings be without story. And I've noticed now, and what I'm in the middle of, that pretty much the intense feelings always are accompanied by a story, something about the future or the past. They kind of rise and fall, and I notice that sometimes I'll be occupied with something, and it's like, well, where did that feeling go? It's like it doesn't actually seem to be able to sustain itself without a story.
Right. That's why I say have a holiday, because you jump off of that story, and then if there's no story, I agree with you. A feeling is much slower than the thought. Thought is very fast, and we can prove it to ourselves in a holiday now. Have a holiday now. 2 seconds. No thought. Where'd the thoughts go? They're gone. But if there's some feeling, it's not gone, is it? Because feelings are much slower, and emotions are much slower. Then I totally agree. Without that story, that feeling, emotion will resolve. But if that story keeps going and you keep valuing that story, then that feeling doesn't ever resolve. It doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there. That's just scientific, We can all see the mechanics of that ourselves, And that's why a holiday is about knowing what's true. But in a holiday, we see also what happens is everything's allowed to flow naturally. That feeling comes and then it goes like a wave. If there's a story, that wave stays dammed up in the middle. It never goes.